All right, thanks for staying with the agenda, and thanks indeed for your patience. Just before the break, you were trying to get hold of our reporter, SABC reporter Matlaku Komani, who is with the MEC for Education, Panyaza Lesufi, who's in Parkmore with some of the parents who are quite disgruntled and complaining about the school admission system, the online system. I see that Matlaku is surrounded by some of those parents around her, and let's just take a listen to what their grievances are, their problems are at this point. But indeed, Panyaza Lesufi is there trying to get to the bottom of the situation. He's having an impromptu briefing as we speak. Matlako, take us through what's happening in Parkmore at the moment.
Yes, we are indeed, Flo, at the Johannesburg East District offices for the Gauteng Department of Education. Now, just to give you a little bit of background about this particular district, it services your Sandton, Midrand, Ivory Park, Kensington, Alexandra. These are the areas that it services, very high-pressured areas. You would remember that the department had always said that, they were having issues around that Midrand Centurion corridor, saying that, I think they're just not producing or opening enough schools to service that area. But the MEC was here and he did address parents, saying that the parents received SMSs. Parents who hadn't been given spaces for their children had received SMSs this morning, as we were earlier on in Alberton at the Mayor's Dal district offices. Parents saying that they were there as early as 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. They were told to make their way to the district offices. A lot of them complaining that they just weren't serviced. And the MEC, in addressing parents, had said that those SMSs that were sent this morning, or last night rather, to parents were sent by mistake. The person who sent those SMSs did not have the authority to send those SMSs to parents, saying that he apologizes, for having parents being exposed to this type of, treatment that they got at offices. We saw that those long queues, and equally here as well, there are also issues here as well. And also saying that as from tomorrow, which is Monday, they will be having an extra, I think he said 700 call center agents to try and field those calls for parents. And I think he also told parents to write their contact details and they will be called. Also saying that these SMSs were actually meant to be sent next week, Sunday. And obviously parents very disgruntled. You will remember that it is November. We're going into December. A lot of these parents is here saying, what must we do? They're not sure which school their children are going to. They're not sure what type of budgeting to do. They're not sure where, which uniform are we buying. Obviously, schools have their different school fees prices. Parents wanting to, get their house in order to ensure that they are able to, to meet their obligations, but also just for issues of proper planning. But MEC is actually just rushed into another office with some parents. There's an issue there that he has to go and address. But I am going to speak to some parents. I'm just going to move out of shot and just ask them, what are their gripes? Parents saying they are not impressed with what has happened here and what's happening. Can you just tell us what brought you here?
I'm here because my child has not been placed yet, for grade 1. And it's frustrating. We've been here since morning and we're still not helped. We don't know what's going on. They're telling us the schools are full. Huh? What's that?
Which school did you apply to?
I applied to Lindest Primary School, Mr. Shaw, Lindest.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. What brings you here today?
For my child, it's not. I didn't get my replacement because I reached on one school, in Orchard Primary School. So I'm still waiting for now.
And you, sir?
Anake kwatile because salary ama mogala mara se ra update or now dara lying. I understand. From 7 o'clock, okay, the SMS ba dibile wrong. But why is bara update or this message is wrong? Everyone is wrong. It's wrong. No, it's wrong. It's still wrong. I can't behave. Guys are sharp.
You have to go to school. The one that you have to go to school and register from school. That's the one. Because now my child is going for grade 8. I don't even know what to do now. You see, exactly. Here's December. We have to buy uniform and stationery as well. We don't even know. And when we're going to school, they said there's no. They didn't accept him. You see, so this thing of online must fall. We just want online must fall.
And you applied earlier, but your child hasn't been placed. You applied from the second day because the first day there was a problem with the applications. The second day when you applied, but now the child is still not been placed for grade 8, and I'm still standing not knowing where I am, because whenever, even there was a time that the system was not working when I was trying to check. I went there, they told me no, if I don't get a response by the 31st, then I must just come here to check with them. But now they're telling us there was an error with an SMS. That is unacceptable, because on our side as parents, we are stranded right now. We don't know what is going on with our child, whether the child, and also it frustrates the children as well, not knowing which school they're going to.
Okay, as you heard there, Flo, just speaking to a lot of these frustrated and also disgruntled parents, just basically telling us they're not impressed with the MEC's explanation, saying that if indeed those SMSs were sent by mistake, it was an error, the person that had sent them did not have the authority, why were then they not later notified that there's been an error? Parents saying very frustrated, not knowing, and also saying their children are equally frustrated as well. And as a child moving on to big school or high school, children need they actually need to also be settled in knowing where they are going and what plans parents also need to put in place to ensure that they meet those obligations in terms of your paying your school fees, the deposit fees that some schools actually have that they want up front. Parents actually wanting to know and saying that, as we all know, it is November right now. December, most people close off. What is it that's going to happen? But we are going to wait for the MEC to come out of that office so we can try and engage him a little bit further and try and understand what is the exact plan that is going to happen. We obviously know that these online applications opened as early as May. It is November right now. What will they be doing in the next couple of weeks that should have been done or could have been done over these past couple of months to put parents at ease, and also just to ensure that everybody knows what is it that is going on. And as you've also heard parents also chanting that this online must fall, clearly not happy with the system that was introduced by the department. But we will patiently wait outside here and just wait to grab MEC quickly so that we can try and find out what is it that is happening.
Matlako, just a quick one. I heard, as you mentioned, some of the parents there behind you saying that online must fall. And just out of interest, while you still have those parents behind you, what would they like in its place? Do they want things to go back to the way that they were? I believe that online was meant to make things easier. And my understanding is that, the system was going to be improved, and one would expect that there would be hiccups in the beginning. What would they like to see happening? Maybe you can ask some of those parents, particularly the one that said that online must fall, what exactly and how would they like to have to register their children for grade 1 and grade 8 going forward?
Okay, why minister asano cancel or ano reke the ones baba ngwadisitse ba registerileng ba tsamaya ba ye dikolong di ba amogela. We've got SMSs, we all have SMSs. Then this thing of coming back here again, coming back, it's money. Some of us miracle we have to recupera the half days or rikitimele reclaim. So it's not fair. Yes, it's not fair.
Us now. You might as well abantwana bethu baba sekwezinye ikole. Abantwana bethu they make sure ukuthi bathola ispace la si apply khona, because we don't have transport ukuthi bathatha abantwana bethu baba somewhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And another thing we're complaining about, this online thing isn't working for all of us.
No,
some of us are not privileged to get online. You might as well go back to manual. If grade 8 you're applying manually, why does grade 1 and grade 8 have to be online and all this? Look at now, we stuck with this online. What's the result of it?
Nothing.
You back here, you get SMSs, you go to the school that your child is in, they're telling you you're not accepted. It's not helping. It's just not on. I totally disagree. Online must fall, man.
Online. And as you've just heard their flow, parents just saying that, a lot of them saying that they, for them to come to the district offices, a lot of them are obviously working, saying that they've had to, ask half days from their employer so that they can make it here today, to respond to that call of the SMSs, but also saying that for them it's an expensive exercise, and I'm also saying that they would rather prefer that we go back to that old system where you would go with your the particulars of your child and approach the school that you would perhaps be interested in as a parent, and try and get space at that particular school. Definitely saying it would seem today where we've been and the districts that we've been, that this online application system is not as popular with some of the parents at the districts that find themselves in the situation where they haven't had placements. But also when we also moved some of the districts and we've been engaging with the department, one thing that they also had said and that they cautioned other parents that actually have spaces, you'll remember that flow that parents have 5 options of schools that they can actually apply to. There was a call and there is a call that continues to be made to parents sitting at home and sitting on 5 or more than 1 placement offer to please accept, so that the system can release those other schools, and so that they can go down and offer them to other parents. There was also, I think, that call that was also made that was very important, so that if you are sitting on more than 1 application, accept one or the other, and so that it can automatically release the other placement offers to other parents that perhaps haven't been offered placements at schools.
All right, Matlako, thank you very much. Sounds rather complicated, this system, and of course I do am concerned about those parents who might not necessarily be tech savvy, but of course that's a question that you would then pose to the MEC for Education in Gauteng, Panyaza, Lesufi.